Welcome. Today we're looking at the top 5 rare United States of America 1-cent coins, each featuring different mint marks, conditions, and special varieties that make them highly valuable. From early wheat pennies to scarce Lincoln Memorial and Shield cent errors, collectors pay huge premiums for coins with low mintages, no mint mark rarities, and high-grade uncirculated examples. Whether it's D, S, or no mint mark, and whether circulated or mint state red, each condition can change the value dramatically. Let's get started. First up, the United States of America 1-cent coin from 1961, featuring the D mint mark and found in circulated condition. This Lincoln cent is a favorite among coin collectors, especially those who appreciate vintage copper coins. Before we begin, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more helpful and detailed coin videos just like this one. Now, let's take a close look at the history, details, and collector interest behind the 1961 D Lincoln cent. The Lincoln cent series began in 1909, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. By 1961, the coin already had over 50 years of tradition, and millions of Americans were familiar with its iconic look. This particular coin, minted in Denver, carries the small but important D mint mark located below the date. For collectors, mint marks help tell the story of where each coin began its journey. The 1961 D penny is made primarily from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it the deep, rich color that older pennies are known for, especially before the composition changed in the 1980s. Even in circulated condition, copper coins often develop natural toning and color variations. These can range from dark brown to reddish brown, giving each coin its own personality and character. On the obverse, you'll see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Even after decades of circulation, the portrait remains recognizable, though wear is visible on high points like Lincoln's cheekbone and hair. Above the portrait sits the bold word, Liberty, symbolizing one of the core principles of American identity. In circulated coins, this word may show signs of fading but remains readable. To the right of Lincoln's portrait, the date reads 1961, with a small D mint mark just below. Circulation wear sometimes softens the numbers, but the date's position keeps it fairly well protected. Below the portrait, the motto "In God We Trust" remains an important part of the design, appearing clearly on most examples even after years of use. Turning to the reverse design, you'll find the classic wheat ears reverse, though actually, 1961 features the memorial reverse. The Lincoln Memorial replaced the wheat cent design in 1959, making the 1961 D part of the early memorial-era coins. The Lincoln Memorial reverse was designed by Frank Gasparo and features intricate pillars and architectural lines. In circulated condition, many of these finer details become softened or partially worn. Above the memorial sits the phrase, United States of America, a strong and bold inscription still visible even on heavily circulated coins. Just below, you'll find 1 cent, identifying the coin's denomination. This is one of the clearer areas on most circulated examples. Centered above the image is the motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. While wear may impact the smaller lettering, the motto is often still readable. The copper surface of this coin, after decades of circulation, may show signs of darkening, dullness, and small contact marks, common features for pennies this old. Collectors usually expect circulated 1961 D pennies to show smoothing on Lincoln's face, weaker details on memorial, and light scratches from years in pockets and coin jars. While this coin is not considered rare, it holds historical value and remains interesting for collectors who enjoy mid-20th century U.S. coinage. Millions of these coins were produced, so scarcity doesn't drive their value. Instead, nostalgia, age, and copper composition make them appealing. Copper cents such as the 1961 D are often saved by coin enthusiasts because they represent quality and weight no longer present in modern zinc pennies. The 1961 D penny also reminds collectors of a period of American history filled with cultural and political change, making it more meaningful than its face value alone suggests. Some collectors look for die varieties or minting errors from this year, though most circulated examples do not have such features. Still, every coin is worth checking closely. Even in circulated condition, this coin can be a great addition to a beginner's collection, offering both affordability and historical charm. If you're building a year-by-year Lincoln cent set, the 1961 D is an essential piece, and it's easy to find examples that still show decent detail. Circulated coins like this one teach collectors how to evaluate wear, grading standards, and the natural aging process of copper. The coin's overall appearance, including color tone, surface texture, and level of detail, helps determine its grade and collectability. Collectors often enjoy comparing circulated examples to higher-grade ones to appreciate the difference in sharpness and craftsmanship. The 1961 D. Lincoln Memorial Cent continues to be a symbol of accessible collecting, reminding us that not every collectible coin needs to be rare to be meaningful. As we wrap up this video, remember that every coin carries a story, and even a simple circulated penny can represent decades of American history. Next up, the United States of America 1-cent coin from 1975, without a mint mark, found in circulated condition. This Lincoln cent may seem common at first glance, but as always, every coin has a story waiting to be told. This 1975 penny comes from the Philadelphia Mint, which did not use a mint mark on 1-cent coins during this period. That's why this coin appears without any letter under the date, a feature many new collectors wonder about. The Lincoln cent has been a staple of American currency since 1909, and by the time 1975 arrived, the design had already been in circulation for over 6 decades. That long history adds depth and meaning to even the most circulated examples. The obverse features the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. In circulated condition, the portrait often shows softening around the cheek, jawline, and hair, yet retains its unmistakable profile. Across the top of the coin sits the motto, "In God We Trust." Despite wear from circulation, this inscription typically remains visible, though it may appear faint on heavily worn pieces. To the left of Lincoln's bust is the word "Liberty," symbolizing a core American ideal. On circulated coins, this word may be partially faded due to years of pocket circulation and handling. To the right of the portrait is the date, 1975, clear and important for identifying the coin. With no mint mark present, collectors recognize this as a Philadelphia issue by default. The coin's composition in 1975 was 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it the warm reddish-brown tone that classic copper cents are known for. In circulated condition, this color often shifts to darker shades. Wear and circulation create a distinct look on copper cents. This 1975 example may show brown toning, small scratches, and contact marks, each representing its long life in everyday commerce. Turning the coin over reveals the reverse design, featuring the Lincoln Memorial. This reverse was introduced in 1959 and remained in use until 2008, making the 1975 penny part of a long and familiar coin era. The Lincoln Memorial design was created by Frank Gasparo, and in higher grades, it shows sharp lines, pillars, and even a tiny seated statue of Lincoln inside the monument. In circulated condition, many of these fine architectural details become worn, especially the central steps and inner pillars, which often blend into the field of the coin. Above the memorial appears the inscription, "United States of America," still bold on most circulated examples, although edges may show wear. Below the country name sits the motto, "E pluribus unum," meaning, "out of many, one." The smaller lettering can sometimes weaken or lose clarity on worn coins. At the bottom of the reverse is 1 cent, the denomination, normally one of the clearest areas since it is raised and thickly impressed into the design. Given its copper composition, the 1975 cent often shows natural oxidation and darkening. These color shifts are normal and expected after decades of circulation. Collectors appreciate these circulated coins because they reflect real history, handled by millions, traveling across states, and surviving generation after generation. This coin is not considered rare, largely because billions were produced, but circulated examples still hold interest for those completing year sets or studying the evolution of U.S. coinage. Despite its common status, the 1975 penny does carry historical significance. It was minted just 1 year before the nation celebrated its bicentennial, placing it in a meaningful era. For new collectors, circulated 1975 cents provide a great opportunity to learn how to identify wear patterns and evaluate grade levels based on detail softness. The coin's rim may show nicks or flattening from long-term use, another common feature of coins that have been in circulation for decades. Many examples also show discoloration or environmental toning from exposure to moisture, air, or skin oils, revealing how time impacts copper coins. Collectors often check older pennies for errors or varieties, though the 1975 issue is generally known for standard strikes rather than rare mistakes. Still, examining each coin is always worthwhile. The absence of a mint mark can confuse beginners, but this feature simply identifies the Philadelphia Mint, which did not add mint marks to cents until 2017. Even in circulated condition, this coin remains a meaningful piece of America's everyday history, a reminder of how currency connects people across time. Longtime collectors often save copper pennies like the 1975 issue simply because they are made of higher quality metal compared to modern zinc cents. The 1975 penny also helps fill album spaces for collectors working on complete memorial cent sets, which continue to be a popular and affordable collecting goal. It may not be a high-value coin, but it serves as an excellent learning tool to study design changes, minting quality, and the durability of copper. This circulated coin can also show how circulation affects luster. Original shine fades over time, replaced by smooth, matte surfaces typical of heavily used cents. With its worn details and aged copper color, the 1975 Lincoln cent carries a classic appearance that collectors recognize instantly. If you enjoy studying American history through coins, pieces like this one offer a hands-on connection to past decades and everyday life. As we wrap up this long script, remember that coin collecting isn't just about rare pieces, it's also about appreciating the journey of common coins like this 1975 cent. Next up, the United States of America 1 cent coin from 1969 with a D mint mark, found in circulated condition. This Lincoln cent carries over half a century of history, and even in worn condition, it remains a meaningful collectible. The 1969 D Lincoln cent was minted at the Denver Mint, and Denver coins are almost always recognized by the small D mint mark placed just under the date. This mint mark helps collectors quickly identify its origin. The obverse of the coin features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that has been in use since 1909. Even when the coin is circulated, Lincoln's profile remains one of the most recognizable in world coinage. On circulated examples like this one, Lincoln's jawline, cheek, and hair often show smoothing from many years of contact with other coins, pockets, and surfaces. This is common and expected for circulated copper cents. Along the top edge of the coin, the motto "In God We Trust" is displayed. Even in circulated condition, this motto usually remains readable, though some letters may show slight fading depending on the wear level. To the left of Lincoln is the word "Liberty," a powerful and meaningful inscription. On circulated coins, the edges of the letters may appear soft, and in heavily worn pieces, the word can show partial fading. To the right of the portrait is the date, 1969, alongside the D mint mark. This small letter is an important identifier and often retains its shape even when the rest of the coin shows significant wear. The coin is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it the classic tone associated with older pennies. In circulated condition, this copper surface often darkens to brown or even deep chocolate shades. Circulation leaves marks on nearly every copper cent. Small scratches, tiny dents, and soft surfaces tell the story of a coin that has been used by millions of hands over decades of daily life. When turning the coin over, the reverse reveals the Lincoln Memorial, a design used from 1959 through 2008. This was created by Frank Gasparo, and in well-preserved coins the details can be incredibly sharp. On this circulated example, however, the fine architectural lines of the memorial may be softened from wear. The steps and inner pillars tend to lose detail first as they are some of the highest points on the reverse. Above the memorial appears the inscription, United States of America, which usually remains bold even on worn coins due to its prominent placement and deeper strike. Just below that inscription sits the motto, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one. In circulated condition, the thin letters can weaken, but they are still often visible. At the bottom of the reverse is the denomination, 1 cent, boldly displayed. Even after decades of use, this area typically stays clear and readable, making the denomination unmistakable. The rim of the coin often shows flattening or small nicks, which are normal signs of circulation. These minor imperfections reflect the coin's long journey through pockets, cash registers, and daily transactions. The overall color of the coin tends to shift as copper reacts with oxygen and moisture over time. This natural toning gives circulated coins their characteristic brown appearance. Collectors appreciate circulated cents like the 1969 D because they show real-world character. Each mark and color change represents the passage of time, making the coin feel like a small slice of history. While the 1969 D penny is not considered rare, It remains a popular date among collectors, especially those building sets of Lincoln Memorial cents or collectors seeking Denver examples. Copper cents from the 1960s are cherished because they were made before the composition switched to zinc in 1982. Their heavier weight and richer color appeal to many collectors. People who enjoy examining coins for errors sometimes check 1969 D cents for die breaks, doubling, or misstrikes. Although rare major errors are uncommon, searching is always a fun part of collecting. The circulated condition of this coin helps new collectors learn how to identify wear levels. The loss of luster, flattening of high points, and muted details all help teach grading fundamentals. Collectors often use circulated coins like this one to fill album slots or create date and mint sets. Even without high value, these coins complete important parts of a collection. The dark brown color of a circulated 1969 D penny is a natural result of aging copper. This toning can vary from light brown to nearly black depending on storage conditions and the environments the coin passed through. The reverse may show worn edges around the memorial building, especially around the columns and roofline. This flattening is one of the clearest indicators of years of use. If the coin has been in pockets or drawers for many decades, it may have small contact marks or spots of discoloration. These small imperfections often add character to older coins. Even with circulation wear, older pennies like this one offer a tactile connection to American history. Every coin minted in the 1960s has lived through major events and changing eras. Holding a circulated coin from 1969 can feel like holding a fragment of the past, a reminder of the people, transactions, and daily life it has touched along the way. For those who enjoy historical collecting, the 1969 D penny symbolizes an era of change in the United States, from culture and economy to technology and design. This coin also represents one of the final decades before the modern zinc penny era began, making copper cents increasingly appreciated as time moves on. Although circulated coins don't command high prices, they make collecting accessible and enjoyable, allowing beginners to study real coins with real history. The 1969 D remains a favorite among collectors who enjoy filling albums by year and mint mark, and circulated examples like this are perfect for such collections. Each circulated penny has its own unique visual fingerprint, with differences in tone, marks, and wear patterns. That individuality adds a personal feel to each coin. As we wrap up this long, detailed script, remember that even a simple circulated penny can tell a rich story. Collecting is not only about rare treasures, it's also about appreciating everyday coins with extraordinary journeys. Next up, the United States of America 1-cent coin from 1986, struck without a mint mark and found in fully circulated condition. This is a common, everyday coin, yet it still carries decades of history, design, and collecting value worth exploring. The 1986 Lincoln cent continues the classic tradition of the Lincoln portrait on the obverse, a design first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Even in circulated condition, the profile remains recognizable and iconic. This particular coin does not carry a mint mark, which immediately tells us it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. At that time, Philadelphia typically did not place mint marks on 1-cent coins, so the absence of a letter is actually an important identifier. Circulated condition means the coin has seen years of use in everyday transactions. The original shine is long gone, replaced by a dull, brownish tone typical of copper-plated zinc cents from this era. The color changes are natural and expected. Since 1982, U.S. 1-cent coins were made of a zinc core with a thin copper plating. That means the 1986 penny belongs to the modern zinc era, and circulated examples often show small surface spots or discoloration due to the softer metal beneath the copper layer. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln's portrait shows smoothing on the hair, forehead, and jawline. These high points wear down first when a coin circulates for years, and this kind of softening is very normal for 1980s pennies found in circulation. The inscription, "In God We Trust," appears along the upper rim, though the letters may show slight flattening after long circulation. These motto details often remain readable even on heavily used pennies. To the left of Lincoln, the word "Liberty" is positioned prominently. On many circulated coins from the 1980s, the edges of the letters can show fading or softness from wear and contact with other coins. The date, 1986, appears to the right of the portrait. Circulation wear can soften the numbers slightly, but the date remains one of the strongest elements on most coins of this era due to deeper striking. The reverse design features the Lincoln Memorial, which appeared on the penny from 1959 to 2008. When the coin was new, the tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial was visible with magnification, but circulated examples often lose some of this fine detail. The inscription, United States of America, arches across the top of the reverse. Even in circulated condition, this bold text usually remains clear because it is deeply struck into the coin. Below that inscription sits the motto, E pluribus unum. These thinner letters sometimes show wear, especially on coins that circulated for decades, but they remain legible on most 1986 pennies. The denomination, 1 cent, appears at the bottom of the reverse in large, bold letters. This part of the design typically survives circulation very well and remains easy to read. The central image, the Lincoln Memorial, shows signs of smoothing on the steps, columns, and roofline. These high-relief areas are the first to wear down, especially after many years of handling. Circulated coins like this often show small scratches, contact marks, and edge flattening. These signs of use add character and tell the story of the coin's long journey through the American economy. The rim may show slight dents or minor flattening, which is normal for a circulated zinc cent. While not considered damage, these marks do reduce the coin's grade from a collector's perspective. The copper plating on 1980s pennies is thin, and circulation can sometimes expose tiny zinc spots beneath the surface. Even small changes in humidity or temperature can affect the coin's color over time. Collectors often check 1986 pennies for plating bubbles, die cracks, or off-center strikes, as errors can increase value. While this example is simply circulated, searching for errors can make collecting more exciting. Because the 1986 penny is a modern issue and millions were minted, it is very common. However, circulated examples still hold educational value and allow collectors to study wear patterns and coin composition. Zinc cents are lighter than the earlier copper pennies, and that lighter feel is noticeable when handling many coins at once. This 1986 cent reflects the transition of U.S. coinage materials during the 1980s. Even though circulated, this penny remains a small piece of American history. It has passed through countless hands, vending machines, pockets, and registers, contributing silently to everyday commerce. The color of the coin in circulated condition is typically brown, with darker or lighter patches depending on environmental exposure. This natural toning helps identify the coin's age and usage. Some circulated 1986 cents may develop small corrosion spots on the reverse or obverse. These imperfections become part of the coin's visual story and are common for zinc-based coins from this era. The design created by Victor David Brenner on the obverse and Frank Gasparo on the reverse makes this coin part of one of the longest-running series in U.S. numismatic history. Many collectors keep circulated pennies like this to fill date and mint sets, because they are inexpensive and easy to find yet still represent important entries in the Lincoln cent series. Even though the coin does not carry high monetary value, it has sentimental and historical value as a piece of American currency from nearly 4 decades ago. Holding a 1986 penny today reminds us of how much the world has changed since it was minted, from technology and culture to the value of money and the way we use currency. The wear found on this coin shows that it served its purpose for many years, moving through countless transactions and everyday life before ending up in a collector's hands. Coins like this help new collectors learn grading basics, such as spotting wear on high points, examining rim condition, and identifying discoloration on copper-plated surfaces. This circulated 1986 penny may not be rare, but it still holds a certain charm. Each mark and tone shift tells a small part of its journey across time. As we wrap up this long, detailed look at the 1986 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, remember that every coin has a story, even the simplest ones found in change jars or coin boxes. Next up, the United States of America 1 cent coin from 1973 with the D mint mark. Even though this coin is commonly found in circulated condition, it carries a unique story from an era of economic transition, numismatic evolution, and the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln's portrait on America's smallest denomination. In this video, we're going to explore everything about this coin: its design, metal composition, minting details, historical background, circulated condition appearance, and what collectors look for when judging its value. Whether you're a beginner collector or someone who enjoys discovering the history behind everyday coins, this video will walk you through it all. The 1973 D Lincoln cent was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the busiest U.S. mint branches during the 1970s. That D mint mark placed just beneath the date on the obverse gives this coin a strong identity, telling collectors exactly where it came from and how it fits into the timeline of American coin production. During 1973, the United States was still producing cents using the traditional bronze alloy, 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This classic metal composition gives older Lincoln cents a rich reddish-brown or deep chocolate color, especially once the coin enters heavier circulation, exactly like the piece we're talking about today. On the obverse, the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln stands proudly. This portrait first appeared in 1909 to honor the centennial of Lincoln's birth, and it continues to be one of the longest-running coin designs in the world. Even in circulated condition, the 1973 Lincoln cent displays the strength and dignity of this historic portrait. Right beside Lincoln's bust, we see the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1973 with that important D mint mark. Depending on how much circulation the coin has experienced, these inscriptions may show flattening, uneven clarity, or smooth surfaces from years of handling. The reverse of the coin features the iconic Lincoln Memorial design, introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Even in worn condition, the architecture of the memorial remains visible, though the tiny statue of Lincoln at the center may be faint or completely worn smooth. The inscriptions, "United States of America" and "E Pluribus Unum" surround the upper portion of the reverse, while "1 cent" occupies the lower section in bold lettering. In circulated condition, these elements often show scratches, discoloration, and loss of sharpness, common signs of heavy use. Collectors often appreciate circulated coins because they truly reflect the life they've lived, passing through hands, shops, pockets, and cash registers across the country for decades. A 1973 1 cent in circulated condition is a small but authentic piece of everyday American history. Although millions of these coins were minted, making them common in the collector market, they still hold numismatic value for those who enjoy building complete date and mint sets of Lincoln Memorial cents. Every coin contributes to a full story, especially when preserved with care. Because circulated coins typically experience discoloration, surface wear, and dulling of their original luster, the 1973 cent you find today may appear brown, dark brown, or even a mixture of tones caused by oxidation. This natural transformation is part of the charm that many collectors recognize. In very worn examples, the rims of the coin begin to blend into the lettering, and small details such as Lincoln's hair, beard, and coat lines start to fade. This level of wear doesn't make the coin rare, but it does help collectors classify the piece's condition accurately. The Denver Mint struck more than 4 billion of these coins in 1973, meaning availability is not an issue, but condition, color, and originality still play a huge role in collector interest. A circulated coin carries history, while an uncirculated example carries sharpness and shine. When studying a circulated 1973 Lincoln cent, collectors often check for notable die varieties or known striking characteristics. While no major rare varieties were issued that year, small die cracks, misaligned strikes, and faint doubling can sometimes be found. Copper cents from this era are known to react strongly to environmental conditions. Humidity, fingerprints, storage materials, and even the climate can change the coin's color dramatically over time. This gives each 1973 cent a unique look, even if its value remains modest. Although circulated examples normally do not command high prices on the market, the educational value and enjoyment of handling a 1970s bronze Lincoln cent are significant for new collectors. It's one of the best coins to study metal aging, mint marks, and wear patterns. This coin also appeals to hobbyists who collect coins based on birth years, anniversary dates, or historical milestones. Since 1973 was an active time in U.S. history, many collectors enjoy owning coins from that decade simply for their connection to the past. In circulated condition, the coin may show minor scratches, contact marks, and small nicks from being stored with other coins. These marks are natural for a coin more than 50 years old and reflect its journey through everyday commerce. Depending on lighting, the surface of the coin may appear smoother in areas with heavy wear and darker in areas where oxidation settled deepest. The combination of color and texture tells a story that uncirculated coins cannot replicate. Collectors sometimes prefer circulated coins because they feel more authentic, real money that was used by real people, not just stored away. The 1973 Lincoln cent certainly fits that description, representing years of service in the American economy. Although the coin is common, it remains an important building block in Lincoln cent collection sets. Every date and mint mark matters, and collectors aiming for complete sets always require the 1973D to fill its rightful place in a folder or album. This coin also marks a period before the composition change of 1982, when the U.S. Mint switched from copper to copper-plated zinc. That makes the 1973D cent part of the classic, heavier, more durable copper cent era treasured by collectors today. If you're holding a circulated 1973D cent, you're essentially holding a piece of solid copper that has survived decades of transitions, economic shifts, inflation, new minting technologies, and changing designs in U.S. currency. Collectors often recommend storing copper cents in dry, cool environments to prevent further oxidation. Even circulated coins benefit from proper care, preserving them for future generations of collectors and history enthusiasts. Because 1973D cents are widespread, they serve as great learning tools for identifying mint marks, judging condition, and examining the interaction between metal and the environment. Beginners can grow their skills using coins just like this one. In circulated condition, your 1973D cent may show smooth fields and reduced detail, yet it still maintains a strong visual connection to its original design. The Lincoln portrait and memorial remain recognizable, preserving the character of the coin. This coin is a wonderful reminder that numismatics isn't only about rarity, it's about stories, history, art, and the small pieces of metal that connect generations together across time. Even a common circulated penny holds more meaning than its face value suggests.